The first question, Martin, for you is, what are the main reasons for industrial companies to do a long-term PPA?
I think the main reasons are to really get price stability. I've mentioned this also in the presentation shortly. So if US and energy intensive industry really have longer term contracts, as I said, with your customers, where you have certain price stability, or where you need to provide them also with certain price stability, it makes sense to do a longer term corporate PPA. Another element would be that they're just using that for marketing purposes. So the time duration or time horizon of the PPA is quite flexible. So you can definitely also just use that for marketing purposes. That's another big driver. If we, by the way, look at the companies that are concluding most PPAs, it's actually data center providers. So it's the Googles, the Amazons of this world that are doing that, and with time horizons of really like up to 20 years. They are in Germany, for example, they're buying quite a lot of offshore wind, and they are highly motivated, of course, to fix their energy supply and also the pricing for longer period of time. Yeah, so that's my short and simple answer to that.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much. It's kind of I would be interested in knowing, do you think the rest of Europe, with the not so mature markets as we've seen on your maps, will they start following? Maybe also in what speed, or maybe not follow at all? And maybe what are the blocking points that you see?
I think the rest will follow. Yeah, so the main, I think everybody's looking at Spain mainly, and also at the Scandinavian countries, so Norway and so on. They're very much ahead of or really sort of leading this topic. I said the main driver behind it was that they stopped subsidy schemes relatively early, and that's why a market had to develop somehow. And they said, as a trader, I believe in the free market, of course, and we also had the topic around affordability. And I think that's it was also an important message from Pierre at the very beginning, that, I mean, they obviously recognized that it does make sense, to get, into ranges of electricity prices where energy intensive industry cannot survive in Europe. It's not a solution to get rid of CO2 by, moving the industry somewhere else. And in other countries where still CO2 is then emitted. Yeah. And they said that's why I think this liberal market is a very, very important element of that. So I believe not just in energy only markets, but also then there are certain other mechanisms that are needed, I think, really on a longer term, to make sure that people still invest also into that. Yeah, that's another thing. There needs to be certain, let's say, a certain framework created. But to the PPA market as such, I'm pretty sure that the other markets will sort of follow, or let's say also develop. And that will happen. Barriers are, I mean, and I think I've mentioned it also in the presentation, it's the volatility topic. It's like, who wants to buy today if you know that you can buy cheaper tomorrow? Yeah. That's sort of the question. Nobody of us knows how the electricity prices will develop. Otherwise, I mean, we wouldn't work for the companies we're working for. Most probably would be rich, enjoying, somewhere the sun on the beach or something like that. But so there's certain risks connected to that, right? And that's why that's one barrier. The other thing is then subsidy schemes. If the state starts to intervene stronger by offering subsidy schemes to producers, this energy would not be available on the free market. Yeah? It would be, it would be handled by the state, and nothing against states. We also need that. We need the regulatory framework and so on. But I really believe in free markets, simply because of the efficiency of and the effectiveness also of those markets. And the other thing is, and that's a gap I think that you're closing also, Ingo, to a certain extent, is that it's relatively hard to find counterparties. Yeah? And you've mentioned your platform also, and I think that's another barrier. But we can overcome this. Yeah? So I think if we speak in a few years from now, I'm pretty sure all of us, I mean, sort of it's my job, but like all of us have done several PPAs already, or have contracts available. Yeah? I think that's the future. Yeah?